You're watching Soccer Night in Detroit.
Welcome. It's me, Hannah Crum, with two legends.
Okay, me, Steve.
And Mad Cat.
And Mad Cat.
This guy right here. Every time you score, he has to play this song for you every time, every single time.
David, he appears. I believe in Derek.
Let's go. There we go. That's my favorite cue. Recording in progress. yeah, I'm stealing a bit from Garrett. Shout out Garrett on that one. Anywho,
I think
welcome to
a hangover from last weekend.
Oh God, I think everybody's got a hangover, and the craziness continues. Oh my God, it's been a crazy week.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've been following the USL ever since Detroit City got in. I have never seen one of the most craziest weekends ever. You saw it. We beat Louisville, which is still talked about. Literally, it's been almost 4 days already, and we're still being talked about the biggest upset. We beat the team that was on their dream season, 73 points. You have the Golden Glove winner, and all of a sudden, here's this team who haven't won in the Lynn Family Stadium pulled off a miracle.
One of the greatest upsets, in fact, the greatest upset, according to some people, in the USL Championship, Detroit City's 1-0 victory over Louisville City on Saturday night. And we broke it down in after hours, obviously. The fact that Detroit had a good first half, but the second half was all Louisville, and they held off the onslaught from Louisville City FC to come away with that 1-0 victory.
Yeah, including a save by Carlos Tadell on third inspection. Didn't hit the net. It was about to go in the net until he punched it out, swatted it away. It was just unbelievable. He stood on his head. Some of them were saves. Other of them were missed shot from over the bar. It was just, holy crap.
Mike Watts called it the save of the century. It seemed like, well, save of the year. Or save of the playoffs, that one in the 65th minute off of Brian Ownby, and that helped, and the fact that the defense of Detroit City just stood there tall and thwarted off every challenge that Lou City could give them, and next thing you know, they come away with the biggest upset in the history of the playoffs. It is ranked though. As far as one of the the top, like I said, one of the top upsets of the playoffs, and it's right there. I think with the, when they're ranking the weekends and all that stuff, and I was looking at this on Monday as well. They were ranking the weekends of the USL playoffs, the opening weekends, the quarterfinal weekends, shall we say. And that was right up there. It was like tied with I think it was the 2017 first weekend. I don't know. It was tied with one of the weekends. I know that for sure.
Detroit City was not involved in 2017 because we were playing in NPSL.
But we know who was involved in 2017 and who had that first star on their crest.
Who's that?
The team that we beat on Saturday night.
I know. Well, I know, and the stats proven. This is the biggest upset point-wise. 36 points from first place till 8th place. Topped only by us being Pittsburgh, 26 points 2 years later.
Absolutely. I mean, two of the biggest upsets in the history of the championship, right there, just by seeding alone.
I know, and the next three doesn't even come close. 2014, Harrisburg City over Orlando City, 25-point differential. Oh, by the way, I have to mention Anthony Hopino, who played with us in 2022, scored the game winner in that game as well. 2018, Red Bull 2 beat FC Cincinnati, 25-point difference. And Real Monarch SLC over Phoenix, 24-point differential. So, oh my.
Mark Briggs is one of Mark Briggs's old teams there, Real Monarchs. Uh,
I know.
and like I said, the craziness just went on, throughout the whole weekend. Obviously, Pittsburgh coming away with the shootout victory.
Yes, ending Hartford Dream season, literally.
Yeah,
And we're gonna
third win.
face them next on Saturday.
Yep, third win for them against the Hartford Athletic this year alone, and then
What the hell, Rhode Island has Charleston number? Oh
yeah.
my God!
Oh, I know. And yeah, that was on Sunday. Rhode Island coming away with that victory in penalties against the Charleston Battery.
Yes, I was following on FOTMob that both teams were perfect on the first two rounds, but round three, former City player Maxie Rodriguez connected, and the Charleston Battery player, named escaped me, tried for the tie, missed. Oh my!
Yeah, going back to that game, going back to the penalty kicks here.
Oh my!
Yeah, so it was Arturo Rodriguez with the miss for for Charleston Battery. Needless to say, Rhode Island was perfect.
Literally perfect, 5-5. MD Meyer scored in round 4. They were hoping that they would miss in round 5, but nope. No Cal Jennings is in now.
Ami Mabika with the game winner there, or with the shootout winner there to send them on to the next round.
Can you believe that the top two, and you predicted the top two in your Eastern Conference prediction, gone in the same weekend?
You know what? Hard to believe there. Nobody had that on their bingo card. That's for damn sure.
No, did you see the prediction card from for the USL bracket? 7 predicted we would move on to the first round. Nobody gave us a chance. Not only that, but not only that, Charlton and Louisville eliminate. Not only that, you eliminate the top 2 in the Golden Boot, MD Myers and Cal Jennings, and the Golden Glove and Dominus Lotz.
Damian Lotz, yeah. Oh, you want to add a third top 2 seed to that?
Yeah, well, we'll get to the full Western, but let's talk about.
Actually, let me add that right now. That third top 2 seed ended up being Sacramento in such a boring game on Sunday night. They ended up going to penalty kicks.
Oh my!
And it ended up being also a 5-4 because Jack Gurr misses the penalty. Tom Brewitt with the game winner. The normally reliable Jack Gurr.
I know. Yeah, and you said the entire game, including extra time, was boring as.
From what I gathered, it was. I fell asleep. I was watching that game. I ended up falling asleep, and and totally forgot. And then they went into penalties.
Just like me a couple of weeks ago near the end of the regular season. God.
3 of the top 4 seeds gone.
Finish.
Bye-bye.
Except for FC Tulsa, which they struggle also, including winning it in extra time 2-0. So, oh my God.
Actually, no, they won 1-0.
1-0, sorry.
Yeah, they won 1-0. The only dominant performance of the evening was New Mexico United. A 2-0 victory over San Antonio FC.
Yeah, the Meow Wolf continues.
Yeah. FC Tulsa won after extra time against Colorado Springs, and that leveled some coaching news.
Yes, because Colorado Springs decided to let go of their head coach a year out of winning the entire title.
Their head coach and their sporting director, I believe?
Yes, gone. Not renewed.
I mean, I can't, it's hard to believe, it's like, it's... And the problem is with that is the fact that They were built to be mercenaries last year. When you think
Uh-huh.
about it,
Yeah.
um, Speedy Williams was part of that squad. Ronaldo Damas was part of that squad. There was quite a few players on that squad last year that weren't part of this squad this year. They got into the playoffs. They barely got in
But barely.
as the eighth seed, but ended up getting bounced out of the playoffs by the top seed FC Tulsa. So it was just you know
Yes.
it turned out to be for them not so fortunate.
No,
Not so
no.
fortunate in the long run. So,
So,
here,
Colorado Springs start from scratch again as FC Tulsa move on. They're going to face on a team who is now going to be called a legend killer because Phoenix Rising beat beat El Paso over the weekend in another game that wasn't decided by penalty kick shootout.
yeah, exactly. And it's just, well, I mean, I'm going, well, yeah. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look for the article for the coaches or the coach that got knocked out in,
Yeah, Phoenix is now a legend killer if you
yeah.
want to face them in the USL playoff. 2 years ago, they
Oh, yeah.
ended the San Diego L'Oreal career after they beat them in extra time, ended their franchise because of a certain league, utter league.
Yeah.
And the Phoenix Rising have ended the head coaching career of the player, coach at El Paso Locomotive.
Yeah,
They're looking forward to it.
Wilmer Cabrera. I think it was Wilmer Cabrera that was the
Yeah,
coach there. Yes, yeah,
yes,
he ended up leaving uh, El Paso Locomotive and guided them to their best season since in best season in the last couple of years. They were out of the playoffs last year, got them to a fourth seed this year, and of course ended up losing to uh, Phoenix Rising in the playoffs on Saturday night at Southwest University Park. Not a big crowd on hand, from what I understand of that one.
Oh my.
It
Considering they
was
had the home field advantage.
absolutely, and needless to say, they were done. They
I
were
know.
done, and unfortunately for them, it's curtains. Unfortunately for them, it's curtains for that squad. So,
I know. So
some
FC Tulsa will face on Phoenix 8 p.m. ESPN Plus. All four quarterfinals will be on ESPN Plus, by the way. The winner of that will face on New Mexico United versus Third County. That's at 9 o'clock. Detroit City FC against Pittsburgh. That's 7:30. And Rhode Island will face on North Carolina FC, who beat Loudoun United, ending their dream season by a score of 1-0. A really good victory there. Moving on to the playoff, getting ready momentum. And then Tuesday, something unexpected happened on Tuesday.
North Carolina's FC's franchise agreement with the USL Championship concluded at the end of the 2025 season. The club will not compete in USL Championship in 2026 and has formally applied to join USL's new Division One league in 2028. This is coming from the USL Championship website. USL believes that Raleigh is a strong potential as a future Division One market if it meets the league's professional standards, including a minimum 15,000 seat purpose built soccer stadium that will serve as an anchor for real estate development. And they also mentioned that they would thank the MCFC supporters and the Triangle community and look forward to advancing professional soccer in that region. That's the statement made by that. There's
And
a
the
whole
reaction
plethora of BS going on with this thing.
and the reaction to it was surprising. Like what? And fans are upset. And oh my
As
god,
they
it's
should be.
a Pandora box opened up. Like honestly, you were here 2 years ago. you've been flipping, and I remember they were in an early version of USL Pro, then went to NASL version 2.0, then was back at League One. They won the title over Charlotte Independent. They moved up, self-regulated to what do you call it?
Self-relegated.
Promoted to USL, and then 2 years later, that's it. Huh?
Well, it began when they were the Railhawks, as I mentioned. This all stems back to the days of NASL.
Version 2.0?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Malik has, been selling this, how do you say, snake oil for the last, I don't know, say 7 or 8 years. Whether, leaving NASL 2.0 to join in on the, to join in with USL, then saying that you wanted to build a MLS stadium in Raleigh, only to get pimped by Charlotte in
Literally.
that process.
Literally.
Has the North Carolina Courage, one of the top programs in NWSL, and he can't balance the two things out. Obviously, he's making money with the Courage, but losing money with North Carolina FC or the Railhawks.
Oh my!
So, after a few years in championship, he decides to drop his team down to League One.
But it's not guaranteed they could be in League One.
No. I'm talking about League One back. I'm talking a few years back.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they dropped down to the third tier.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple years later, after winning the championship, it's like, I think I'll go try the championship again, or winning the League One championship. I think we're going to try the championship again. 2 years later, they're gone, and now he's holding out for D1.
Oh my! And there's no guarantee. Like I said, there's no guarantee he could get League One if they make professional standard. We're talking about Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, a college town.
And we know the fact that the Hurricanes have survived there. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only team in that market that's, realistically, Charlotte is a 3-sport market when you think about it. You got the MLS, or the North Carolina area is a 3-sport market.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Panthers, obviously, Panthers not doing well, out on the field this year. Well, 4-sport market, Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
And of course, Charlotte FC and MLS, and then you got the Hurricanes down in Raleigh.
And don't forget a potential MLB expansion team down the road, maybe.
This is going to be a 4-sport region, or a major 4-sport region, 5-sport region, shall we say?
Yeah.
But with the goings on and Malik's dealings and all that stuff, are these supporters going to trust him if he does decide to come back with a D1?
No, I think they're angry because you dropped this new during a playoff run.
I think it's not just that. We heard about the San Diego Loyal thing, but that was before the playoff run. They turned out in droves for their last game against Phoenix Rising a couple years back. This North Carolina squad, they don't generate as much fan support as, say, like the Courage do, and they play in a 10,000-seat stadium.
Yeah.
So, what's gonna happen Saturday night when North Carolina takes on Rhode Island? Who's gonna show up there?
Here's the big question: oddball city. Yeah, who's gonna show up if you're gonna say if you're not committed to the league that you're in? Why you don't need our support? Good luck trying to get into the Division 1 in a couple of years. But yeah, I agree with the fan. The fan have a right to be happy. You build a really, 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 really great a support group for over the last 2 years, depending which league. But you don't say, well, we're going to go to the champions, and 24 months later said, well, we're going to sit this out waiting for League One, or I mean Division One, excuse me. But honestly, like I said, there's no guaranteed. You know what I mean? Raleigh-Durham is, I don't know how large the area. You must have 1 million people. I don't think they have 1 million people in the general area. So
It's a good metroplex there. Let's just put it that way.
okay,
It's a very good metroplex. But here's the caveat to all this.
yeah,
And this involves players, coaches, staff. This is what came out from the USL Players Association. Imagine you're a professional athlete and you're preparing your next match in the playoffs and you're told, we've decided to close the business. Your guaranteed contracts are void. But here's 2 months paid. Good luck finding a team.
oh my.
Players of North Carolina SC were informed this morning their club was voluntarily folded so the owner could focus on a new stadium and a new Division One application. Under the current collective bargaining agreement, NCSC players with contracts for the upcoming season are left with pink slips and just 2 months' salary. There are no
2
other
months.
protections.
How much is 2 months for those players who now left out of the cold? About 100,000, 200,000?
You know what? It remains to be seen. Nobody really brings up the numbers, shall we say. It's not publicly noted like you would say, like in the Big Four, as far as salaries go and whatnot. So it's just the fact that you got so many talented players, the Alex Andersons, the Evan Conways of the world. John Bradford is looking for a job right now. After they're playing for their jobs this weekend, Steve.
Unbelievable. You know what I mean? And how much motivation are you going to go? Because remember, would it be odd if North Carolina faced on us in the Eastern Conference Final at a stadium that's not going to be there next year? Huh?
Hey, it's happened before. Phoenix Rising went into San Diego Loyal a couple years back.
I know.
It's happened before.
Yeah.
And who knows? I mean, North Carolina could go in, or Rhode Island could go in there, pull off the upset, and it wouldn't really matter to be an upset because the players just think your souls are crushed at this point.
I know you're right. I feel the same thing for San Diego Loyal fans when they were, I don't want to say it, they were literally forced out because somebody bet $500 million for a professional side at a college stadium or downtown called Snapdragon Stadium. And I was looking at the standings and I feel for them. Like, here they are. How sad that your team is no longer around. The team that replaced you is top of the pops in the West. What the hell?
Yeah, it's a sad, and of course they went without soccer for a year until the new San Diego FC came along in a couple years later. Now they're one of the top teams in that league. So and then we've seen this happen before with FC St. Louis or St. Louis FC.
I know. Fan revolt when management said, "Hey, we're going into the outer league. Have a nice life. You're not going to come over to us." And the fans were upset. It's just This honestly, since I followed.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead. What you're thinking?
Yeah, 800-pound gorilla known as MLS is, part of the reason why, some of these clubs have faded. Another issue is obviously stadium issues.
I know.
I mean, that's what did in Memphis 901. And now this year.
Yeah, because the team was owned by the minor league ball club, the Memphis Redbird, top tier team for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And the fact that they couldn't get a stadium done.
Yeah. No.
And that's what led to that, and the rights going to Santa Barbara, and who knows what's going on with that.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is about, oh my God, and somebody mentioned this because this is the fourth team a team have folded since I've been following the USL since Detroit City ever came in.
Yeah.
6 overall in the last 10, and I know they don't count at folded franchise 9 out of the last dozen years. The 3 teams that moved to NLX Next Pro, Lodos, Atlanta SNID 2,
Yeah.
Red Bull 2, they don't count as folded franchise. They just moved on. But there was Reno, Rio Van Valley,
Yeah, Reno 18. Yeah,
Memphis.
Rio Grande Valley when we came
Yeah.
in. Well, Rio Grande Valley and um, San Diego Loyal were the same.
Uh,
We're in the same year. Memphis 901 was last year.
yeah.
Um, and now North Carolina FC this year.
Oh my. Oh my.
That's four. That's 4 in 4 years
I know.
since Detroit City has been in the championship.
Do we have
It's
any stable owners in the USL? Maybe yes, maybe no. Who knows?
That's the one thing that we were hoping with Tony Scholes coming in as the new director of Division One, that it could help with that as far as trying to make it a more stable ecosystem. And
Mhm.
much like this is right now, we're looking at things as an ecosystem
Yeah.
because Tony Scholes coming in, former Premier League director, former executive over at Stoke, so he knows what the pyramid's all about.
I know.
And
But can you recreate the same period? Because it's a lot different in England. They have the guaranteed TV contract money from Sky Sports. They have
BT
parachute, yeah,
or
the parachute
or
payments. You know
TNT
what I mean?
Sports now.
You're right, and they have a guaranteed structure. But in America, our TV contract is just two streaming contract with ESPN, some game, then CBS, which only broadcasts 3 games a year, 2 regular season championship games in a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? And I don't know how you gonna stable all
We
that that are.
USL is basically uh, fan driven, butts and seats for the most
Mhm.
part, as far as that goes. I mean, the TV contract is not that big.
Yeah,
It's in 7 figures, but it's not that big.
compared to
Trying
the
to get
England, compare it to a UK TV contract, which is enormous. You know what I mean?
And absolutely, and they have international rights as well. I mean, obviously, NBC's got the rights for NBC. Universal's got the rights. Comcast, whatever. The
Premier League.
the whole conglomerate. No, they've got the rights to broadcast these games, here in the United States. Not to mention all the countries that would broadcast the Premier League around the world. They got
Hmm.
money hand over fist over there. That way you can make those parachute payments to teams that drop down to the next level, and to help them stabilize so that they can get back up into the realms of the top tiers of the English pyramid there. This is a little bit of a smaller pyramid than he's had to deal with in England, obviously, with the 3 tiers that USL is proposing.
I know.
And I'm thinking with him being part of Division One, he could also be like one of the people, the go-to people to find out how an actual pyramid works, how parachute payments work, how structure is. How do you have a play? Okay, how do you have a playoff with the top tier? I mean, grant you right now. I mean, been a lot of talk, and we'll go into that in a little bit too about because of all the upsets that occurred this weekend. I was noticing a couple things on the socials about it, but
Yeah.
you know. How are you going to have a playoff structure between the leagues? How is your Division Three going to move up to Division Two? How's your Division Two going to move up into Division One? All that type of it's all about the logistics. Is probably why this move was made to get somebody experience and all that. And I'm glad that the USL decided to do this instead of getting somebody from the outside and having somebody from within try to explain this thing, because they could screw that up from the inside. If you get somebody from the outside that knows what the pyramid's all about it probably will help in making this come to fruition.
And another question you're going to ask is about stability. You know what I mean? What about the teams that are a little bit shaky? You know what I mean? How do you prop them up so they cannot fail? Like I said, we have about 6 teams in the last half a dozen years. You know what I mean? To fold, fade away.
Just in the championship alone.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, countless teams in League One: Northern Colorado Hailstorm, Texoma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what other team, went out last year. I don't think it was. I know it was Hailstorm. I think there was one other team that.
Central California and Flago.
Okay, yeah, Central Valley and Fuego. I mean, these teams. Trying to run a professional soccer club is hard work.
Much more harder trying to run, like they say, a minor league hockey or baseball team.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what tier you're in.
No.
I keep saying the words ducks in a row, ducks in a row. If you have your ducks in a row, you can make it happen. Some of these clubs don't have all their ducks in a row. That's why you see them either dropping down a league like Texoma did, or just cease to exist. Or Northern Colorado Hailstorm basically dropped down a league or two. They went over to NISA. But they got booted out by USL because of the fact that they couldn't adhere to the USL standards.
You're right. They didn't have their duck in a row when they debuted in League One. I'm talking about Texoma. And now they're going to a sort of NPSL like League Two. And
they're staying in the USL umbrella.
Yeah, I know. So that is something that have to be discussed, or it would be embarrassing if we see team fold in the new setup. You know what I mean? They don't want to be embarrassed. You know what I mean?
Well, you look at what we have now, and I did mention this on the morning kick around Discord, and I mentioned North Carolina being one of those teams that could be, potential, for Division One, and and I didn't realize that the stability of, Malik,
who was the owner of the team, right?
Yes,
okay.
It based on the stability of Malik himself.
Oh my,
yeah. When one man is bigger than the team, than the collective, usually run into a lot of problems.
Yeah, something's wrong about that there. Not only that, he said he's going to, but you don't have Team Louisville City, who long ago declared they're applying for League One. They're continuing on as is, like nothing's happened. You know what I mean?
And that's a well-run organization.
Very well-run organization. We have no just you're in and you're out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of the class organizations. Charleston, definitely one of the class organizations in USL Championship, even though they are in a small market. Pittsburgh. Let's see. I'm trying to Tampa Bay. I'm listening to all these teams that are, the class organizations of the world. I wouldn't mind seeing Charleston move up to Division One. Obviously, you got to improve the stadium. Got to get that up to 15,000 down there at Patriots Point. But these are the class organizations of the league, and then you got clubs coming in like Atletico Dallas is coming in. Brooklyn FC. You got Jacksonville, yes, Jacksonville. That could be a viable. That could be a Division One market. You got some of these organizations that are actually trying to put forth and get save face and put a product out there and actually doing the job. Say like a Detroit, a Louisville, a Pittsburgh. There's a reason why I held off Indy. And that's all because the whole damn stadium issue and what's going on down there, the flirtation with MLS by the mayor, and totally abandoning the USL club that's already in the town.
I know.
So yeah, there's a lot to uncover and unfurl there as far as teams that are actually ready to go for Division One. And teams that are, they just don't have it yet.
No.
Or clubs that just don't have it yet at this point.
And the longer they flirt saying, well, we're trying to make a civil visit, I mean, they sometimes go, and sometimes the longer they go, the more that they, do we need this club in our top tier league? We'll go pro rel, maybe, maybe not, who knows? So we'll see.
Exactly. I'm trying to get the name of the Colorado Springs coach that resigned that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, we talked about
Yeah, we
during the
forgot to mention his name, and we do want to mention his name there, so that's why I'm looking up at this point there. But
okay.
I'm on the other news, and then we'll get back. Yeah, we'll get back to it later. I'm on the other news, and like I said, we don't want to make this too USL heavy as a most part, but I mean, it's like I said, it has been the wildest weekend of football that I've seen from this league.
I
But
know.
we are going to move away from this. I'm throwing an audible here.
Okay.
Throwing an audible.
All right.
Guess who got knighted yesterday?
Sir David Beckham. Oh my.
Sir MLS scum gets knighted yesterday. Should he be
Oh,
worried about Nashville kicking his ass in the playoffs? I mean, they're going into a game 3 of perhaps the most stupidest format in all of soccer on Saturday night. And then they take a 2-week break.
I kind of agree because one game won their series, but they wound up 1-1 regulation. They won it on penalty kick and said, all right, that's good enough. We don't want to tie you and you move on. Like, I'm sorry I have to laugh at the David Beckham news. You know what I mean? I was going to bring it up, but oh my.
I'm like, this is why Inter Miami are the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Dallas Cowboys, the Los Angeles Lakers, the New York Yankees of soccer. Everybody hates them. That is not a plastic.
Except if you live in that city, which you
or you're a plastic, or you're a messy plastic.
I'm not a messy plastic. Remember, I liked him as an international player.
I mean, granted, he's a great player. I get it. He's one of the top 2 in this generation. However, I don't see
Next to Pele.
Yeah. Well, next to Ronaldo in this generation, but
okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't believe the hype. I got my own club to support.
Yeah, and they're still
in my town.
Yeah, they're still in
the only pink kit I'm wearing is this
city. I know,
and probably the other one from July or June. Those are the only pink kits I'm wearing.
Okay.
But here's the thing. This whole deal with Messi is and Inter Miami and being the god end all be all soccer. This reeks of LeBron and the Lakers, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Ohtani, the Dallas Cowboys, the Kansas City Chiefs.
I know, and I'll say this again: Messi was not Messi, but Beckham was a, let's say, average player. Okay, he was there for all the looks, all the cameras, all the paparazzi, the soccerazzi, like that. But on the field, he was average or above average. You know what I mean? And I remember when he was in MLS, he only scored 14 goals.
You know why that is? Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
He only scored 14 goals in MLS during his time.
And you know why Bex gets all the publicity? Guess what club he played for?
Manchester United.
Bingo.
All right.
Jamie Carragher didn't get that, and he played for Liverpool. He was one of the Spice Boys.
Oh my God.
Only because Sir Alex Ferguson dominated that era of football, and Manchester United winning the treble back in '99.
I remember that really well.
And it was the comeback story. He had the red card in the World Cup, and then they turned around and got the treble the next year. Cry me a liver.
Tell you your man, Cat, I do remember that Europa Cup final in '99 when they won it with a pair of goal in extra time. It was the same day as the whole concert at the Fillmore Detroit, which I was there. Courtney Love and Hole. I was there. I remember that. I stayed for the entire ceremony when it was on ESPN. Remember when the Champion League was on ESPN and they went off winning the most impossible comeback from 0-1 down in injury time with 2 corner kicks to win it. Like, it's still a great memory. One of my favorite memory ever.
It is.
No thanks to Beckham, but
I would remember watching Champions League games on ESPN, even Premier League games on ESPN back in the day, and it's like, okay, I might get into the sport a little bit more. I found Manchester City because of, and I'll be honest, because of what happened on Mother's Day in 2012.
What happened on Mother's Day in 2012 that made you a City fan?
93 minutes and 20 seconds into that contest. Manchester United had already won their contest.
Mm-hmm.
Manchester City needed to win against Queen's Park Rangers.
Uh-huh.
Guess who ends up getting the goal at 93:20?
This will not jog my memory bank because this happened in 2012, right? Or 2014? Yes. I wouldn't even remember if I tried. 2 scored.
In the immortal words of Martin Tyler, Aguero!
Wow.
That's what got me hooked permanently. And I found my team. I found my club.
Wow.
Because everybody had Arsenal, or Manchester City, or Manchester United, or Liverpool, or Chelsea, any other of the big 6. I was like, I gotta find a team. Little old team that hadn't won since 1968 in the first division caught my heart and I became a fan of theirs.
I know.
I became a supporter of theirs at that point. And then, I didn't really get, and then to be honest with you, 2019, I really got freaking hooked. All it took was a game against the Michigan Stars.
And now you're part of our Indie Pseudo Media. And now you're part of our Indie Pseudo Media thing, right?
Yes, the pro bono media pro bono. Go from hanging on the fence line, popping smoke bombs, to hanging on the sideline, talking to players.
I know. It's been a great journey.
It's been fun. It has been fun, to be honest with you.
But I have to say, I told you about my journey because I didn't get to follow the Detroit Express when they play an NASL version.
I was aware of them. I was.
The team was playing in Pontiac. I couldn't get to the bus. Remember, I was young at the time, And I said, ever since, because the week I decided to come to the DCFC games when they started at Cat Tech. And remember, they announced it a week after that failed Silverdome MLS bid when they announced they were forming a club. I remember that clearly.
Yeah.
And I've been following them ever since, Mad Cat.
Yep. Yeah, it's been 6 years following, the trials and tribute, whether it be through Members Cup to Nice, to the the fun and frolics of Nisa, to what we're dealing right now in USL. So
okay.
It's been a fun ride as far as that goes. Going back to that story about the Colorado coach, it was James Chambers and sporting director Stephen Hogan that got let go by there. No timetable or no idea. There is a search underway, obviously, in Colorado Springs for new coaches there. Oh, speaking of coaching, shout out. Big shout out here. Vincenzo Candela. Remember him?
No, I don't.
He was part of
Yeah,
that 2021 squad,
uh,
along with a
oh,
certain.
you got a new coach?
He take the interim office tag. He's the new. He's the permanent head coach over at Union Omaha.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, Vincenzo got the. And I was tweeting yesterday, they Union Omaha happens to be on my feed, and I mentioned the fact that kudos to him and helping him with Pato and his comeback.
I see.
Yep. So DCFC making their marks in Omaha, the alumni,
Ah,
that
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So
And before we talk about city news off the field, we also mentioned that Jacksonville, Sporting Jacksonville, who is coming in the league next year, hired their first head coach, Liam Fox. His experience both in the Scottish League as head coach of Dundee FC and Celtic greatest rival, Hearts.
yeah, current greatest rival Hearts,
I
who
know.
are leading in the Scottish Premier League right now. So yeah, interesting there. So stadium news
Yes, let's
briefly.
get the stadium news.
Yeah, briefly. Things are a go pretty much. As far as that goes, it looks like we're gonna get some equipment on the site
Yes, I was talking
soon.
to Sean Mann a couple of weeks ago. He said that they have ordered the construction equipment to knock down that hospital, which is still standing. You know what I mean? This after the city agreed to a community benefit package last week.
Yes, and that is now going in front of city council right now. They should have that process done by Thanksgiving, from what I understand.
You're right. I was watching a little bit of the meeting. There is some opposition complaining about the parking around the stadium with the garage. And I can tell you, being a guy who have traveled to downtown, especially in the Michigan Avenue area, I take the bus. I could take everybody's going to take the bus. There will be a lot of shuttle buses to the stadium and all that from the contemporary of the Michigan Avenue area. So, I know McShane always take their sports fans to the downtown stadium, so that could be an option like that. So, and they will do a traffic study of how traffic flow getting into the stadium and getting out to the stadium. Because remember, and one more thing, there's a great video called "This Building Manor" on YouTube. They examined the entire history of Michigan 20th. Not only it was a farmer market, a railroad yard, and not
Butcher
only a
place.
hospital. It's
Yeah.
a very interesting video. I recommend you see it. 6 minutes long. It's a good history of that area that's gone from farmer market to soon to be a soccer stadium.
Yep, it's and of course one of the oldest neighborhoods planted in one of the oldest neighborhoods of Detroit, the Corktown area, and borderline with my old neighborhood, Mexican Town. So I mean,
I know, yeah.
it's going to be. And there was also talk about the viaducts there, improving the viaduct, which has the railroad bridges, which lead up to the stadium on 20th Street. There's a talk there where the club, the city, and residents will be probably chipping in as far as improvement goes, as far as getting that.
Would it be that cool? Remember the rendering when they had lights under the viaduct? You know what I mean? What if we start at Diamond and Pub for the March to the Mat that goes under the viaduct? That would be a cool visual.
That would be. That would probably be one of the coolest visuals in the league, I would think. It's like going under. Remember going on the railroad tracks over on Connet to go to?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember that really well.
yeah. A couple years ago, doing the March of the Match, I go under there with the smoke bomb and all that stuff. That was fun stuff. That was fun times
And
then.
I remember it was kind of nuts. I remember we went under the viaduct and the leaders of the Northern Guards was flowing on top of the railroad track, which was forking insane, by the way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Back in the, I mean, we made our own memories as far as that goes. But yeah, I mean, things kind of settled. I mean, after 2020, I mean, it kind of dulled down a little bit. But trying to bring that magic back and all that stuff. People, smoke bombs as people were marching through the tunnel and whatnot, and it the Northern Guard coming in and the drums and all that. What a great sight that is. Women's indoor season begins December 6th
Yes.
over in Youngstown, Ohio. Taking the month off, back at it at the clubhouse beginning of January.
The first game, January the 3rd against FC Berlin. And I know you're going to say, oh, you're going to have a team in Berlin playing that? No. The team is headquartered in, of all places, Kitchener, Ontario, Canada.
Last time I was in Kitchener, I attended a Plymouth Whalers game there.
I see. Oh, remember the Plymouth Whalers, yeah. And
rest in peace. Or I wouldn't say rest in peace. They're the Flint Firebirds now.
I know. And by the way, I don't have the full schedule, but here's the schedule because it won't pick up until February, and the reason why you know why, because remember, one of our games were postponed because of the Detroit Lions playing on a Saturday in a playoff game.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they're taking February off, and they're going to pick it up on February 7th against Louisville Triumph FC. Then February 21st against Indy United FC. February 28th against Youngstown Nighthawks. And then the indoor season concluded with the Columbus Eagles that the quote on-ramp to the 2026 season, and the on-ramp did the keyword farewell. And the structure of the league is a little bit decent. We don't have any in-state rivals like last year, so
I think Muskegon was going to try to get in, but I don't think that went through in time. So
I don't think Kalamazoo or Grand Rapids are in as well.
No, neither one of those clubs are in there. So yeah,
the Iowa Demon Hawks are still in, but they're playing in another division, regional division. Thank God we won't have to go to Iowa to hear the word Golazo. Still have headaches from that. And don't forget, the MASLW League is wide open this year because Chickasaw Savage is no longer in the league.
No more Chihuahua.
Yeah, so that league is wide open.
Wide open indeed. So Saturday night, that's what we're doing. We got a game to cover. Detroit City FC taking on Pittsburgh. Big, huge game. We'll preview all that. Let's get three predictions out of the way. We'll save the one for Pittsburgh, Detroit for Saturday. North Carolina, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island is a good upset-heavy team, I must say, but I'm going to say North Carolina FC will squeak with one out. I don't know how much a crowd will show up after the news that they're folding and may get back to Division One, but I'm going to say North Carolina. And by the way, our original prediction, our brackets are now busted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's no perfect bracket out of 646 on the USL site. Zero, zip, nada, not a clue.
Not a clue. I'm going to go, you know what? I don't think they're going to be inspired enough. I think Rhode Island squeaks this one out. I'm going to go with Rhode Island.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Rhode Island in this one.
That could make it interesting if Detroit City FC move on. It would be the third time. Remember the last time we went to Rhode Island, we lost on a weird penalty kick from a guy who just subbed in.
Yeah.
I know.
But, yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be... My dream scenario would be, Detroit City knocking out North Carolina, and then the ultimate Thanos thing would come to fruition. Detroit City knocking out the North Carolina FC in the Eastern Conference Final. But, I'm being a realist, being objective. Yeah.
It is possible because we beat North Carolina at home during the regular season.
Absolutely. And this is totally winnable. This Eastern Conference is totally winnable, and we'll go over that on Soccer Night in Detroit on Saturday. As far as the West goes, I'm going to go with... let's go with... let's see, Saturday night. Saturday night's all right for fighting. Okay, so SC Tulsa against Phoenix Rising. The 1 seed taking on I believe the 5 seed. Yeah, the 5 seed.
I'm going to take FC Tulsa. They're too good. But
They,
if they repeat the lackness of urgent scoring in regulation, it could come back to bite them. Who knows? They were lucky to win in extra time, but
I totally agree with you there. I think I had them in Sacramento in the final,
not
but
going to happen.
not going to happen because Orange County FC ended up being there. I'm going with FC Tulsa, regardless. This is a great team.
I know.
This is a great team.
Yeah.
Jack Spencer's put on and of course another Lucidian disciple. He's got that thing going on over there, and I think he's gonna, he's got them on a beeline. Did you hear about the crowd over there the other night?
FC Tulsa
Yeah,
sold out.
oh, 8,000 plus for that match.
And that game is being held in a baseball field. One of
Yep,
few
at
teams
1-0
that
field.
I know. 1-0
At 1-0
field, yeah.
field. So, yeah, we both got FC Tulsa on that one. New Mexico United, the nightcap against Orange County SC.
Considering that these two teams were part of the Western Conference pillow fight and is being held in where else? New Mexico, which is on a baseball field, but it's done differently because they set up different between baseball and soccer. The Meow Wolf Nation will be in fourth, so I'm going to say New Mexico.
I agree with you there. Greg Hurst is on a hell of a run right now, and I'll tell you what. I think even though Orange County took out Roro Lopez late in that match with the double red card, they're going to come out chippy. They're going to come out. Gunning for you. But I think New Mexico hangs on this one, to be honest with you. I'm going to go with them.
Okay. All
right.
right.
So, yep, broke down 3 of those games. We're going to break down Detroit-Pittsburgh on Saturday, obviously, as we get set.
It's going to be a big game. Can't wait to break it down. And like they said, I'm a little kind of worried because remember, it was the site of one of our worst games of the year.
You realize they're doing a bus trip to this thing?
I know that, but I'm not going to be there, unfortunately.
Neither am I. But even though you still have to purchase, and the only way the admission would be the price of your ticket to go to Highmark.
I know,
which is pretty cheap, which is cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm not doing it.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
it. The last bus trip I was at, I am basically on bus trips.
For something?
Yeah.
Okay.
However, I think there was a bus trip maybe 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Okay.
Was there a bus trip to Pittsburgh, or did just a bunch of supporters show up?
Bunch of supporters showed up. I remember.
I thought there was a bus trip for that. I'm not sure. I want to say there was.
Yeah.
I know we were at the clubhouse that night for that match.
And let's hope all the supporters in Detroit get home in one piece. We don't want a war with the Pittsburgh supporters section. Oh my. Considering, they don't like each other.
Ben, we'll be all right.
I know. Considering we have our feud with the supporters section and the mascot, do you think that somebody in Pittsburgh do a similar thing like we do and they don't like us?
I don't know. Like I said, the whole, I don't know.
I'll defend myself with vigor, for God's sake. You know what I mean? I'm 52. I could still fight like Proby, R.I.P. You know what I mean?
You know what? I love the South Side. I love the area where the stadium's at. I really do.
On the bank of the Mahogany River.
Yeah, Monongahela.
Mahogany River.
Yep.
Against the team that
it was a fun trip. The last time I was there, it was a great trip, great time. This time around, yeah, I'm sticking close here to home. Like I said, I've had my share of bus trips that have gone bad.
I know you were at a bus trip in Chicago, and that didn't end well. I know.
No, it did not.
No.
And then I think I remember going to Louisville last year too, and that didn't turn out well. I remember going on a trip to Indy, gone down 2 trips to Indy
That
on the
didn't went
bus.
well with you.
Neither one went well either time.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
one day I will be at a bus trip, for God's sake, in Indy,
One of
Philly.
these, I'll get a reliable train. Hopefully, we can get something going here. Like a little rivalry with that Grand Rapids team.
I know that team, brother.
We shall see there. But nonetheless, we'll talk to you Saturday from the clubhouse as we get set for Detroit City, Pittsburgh.
I will see what clubhouse. We have to do some technical things first, but yes, we will meet Saturday night before the game. And by the way, the game is on ESPN Plus only. They have no local TV connection. I think they're going all national on the streaming apps.
That's what I'm thinking on that. So if there's a local presence, we'll let you know Saturday night if it happens or not. But so far right now, it doesn't look like we're going to have any local coverage of this game as far as I know. Even though it's on ESPN Plus, that could be that could end up being the case there. We might have.
Don't forget after this weekend, CBS Sports Network have the conference championship finals, and CBS Maine get the grand final.
Fun times. Gotta
That's
love
CBS
playoffs.
Detroit
Love
here
playoffs.
in Detroit.
And let me invite you. MLS, let's be on an off weekend because they were too stupid. Instead of starting having a second round, they wanted to do this little 3-game playoff, and then next thing you know, your semifinals or whatever. Yeah, your league's not going to end until Christmas. Watch the conference semifinals next week.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch the conference.
Okay. Well, Mancat, we're gonna wrap it up. I will see you on Saturday.
Yes, I will see you on Saturday, and we will see you all on Saturday as Detroit City FC takes on Pittsburgh in the Eastern Conference semifinal. Until then, folks, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the Galaxy.